What's up, guys? I trust you all doing good and I trust you are all doing well. So, it's your host Herman, and today we'll be discussing the second part of the video of how to combine MSNR with CRT. Rather, we all know MSNR as Malaysian support our existence, and CRT as candle range theory, right? And also here tonight we'll be discussing how you can actually just frame your whole bias from higher time frame range to lower time frame range, combining MSNR, combining CRT. Make sure you turn on the notification. Do well to like and subscribe, and make sure you watch the end of the video. So here, let's proceed and let's go straight to the point. So today I'll be using AUDJPY as a case study and an example, and to explain to details on the deep concept and the rudiments of this strategy to you. So first and foremost, if you are actually trying to trade this kind of model, your higher time frame is very essential for you. We have the weekly time frame, the daily time frame, the monthly time frame, the 3 months time frame, right? This is actually essential for your bias, for your directional bias. You see, we have the 3 months time frames, we have the daily, we have the 1 week, 3 months, 1 month, 1 week, daily. Then you use all those for your directional bias, and you use one H4, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours here for your entries and your confirmation of your rejection, right? So now let's take a look at this. If you can take a look at AUDJPY on a large scale and a wide range, right, you can see that we're actually in a bullish scenario. What do I mean? If you have to pay attention to this, we are actually having a range here, which is every range actually starts with a strong low or a strong high. So what's a strong low? A strong low is a low that actually got swept, like a low that swept the previous low here and add a break of structure to the upside. That's actually how a range actually started, right? So what do I mean with range? I said every range actually starts with a strong low or a strong high. In what sense, right? So take a look at this. You have series of movement to the downside, series of movement to the downside like this, series of lower lows and lower highs, right? So now all of a sudden we had a sweep of this previous low right here, and this makes this particular low a very strong low, because why? You set the previous low and you add a break of structure. It makes it very much stronger if you add a two major break of structure of a major structure, right? So not a minor structure, a major structure like this. Then it made this all this low a strong one like this to leverage on, then to continue the buy against the upside. And you move from one liquidity level to another. So after this break of structure, after the sip of liquidity here, we have to pay attention to this, right? You have this, right? You have this sweep of this previous low here, right? Here, sweep of previous low, making this particular low a strong low, right? And this is actually a pullback, like after that break of structure. That's like an inducement for the level. Then you know that whatever you are targeting from this zone is going to be the liquidity this move actually created, like this, right? So that's what you'll be targeting in a nutshell, right? So here, something like this is what you'll be targeting. This eye, right? This eye, that will be your external range liquidity we're targeting, right? So that's actually what a range looks like in if I'm to draw it out for you, right? So let's move to chart and let's look for examples on how to do that here. So I'm trying to tell you how you can actually frame your entire bias from higher time frame, from the whole big picture to a whole smaller picture, then to 30 candle formation on more weekly time frame, right? You can see clearly that we're actually in a bullish scenario, in a bullish trend on AUDJPY, right? So we have this zone here that sponsored this buy to the upside, and you can see clearly that we have this level, and this is actually a strong low. If you go back to your line chart, you see it's very, very clear. This is a strong low because why? You swept previous low and you had multi-break of major structures, so that makes that particular low very, very, very strong to sponsor more buys to clear all these eyes out. But we're actually in a bearish, we are in a weekly time frame, so you won't expect something like this, something very, very straight to clear this eye out. So it's going to move gradually, a step at a time. So what are we talking about? So let's come back here. We have this break of structure of this particular high, right? This is actually on a weekly time frame, right? So we're trying to frame our bias from the overall wide range of the weekly time frame, right? So what we are looking for, so now majorly we are looking for more buys, right? But that does not mean that whenever we see a rejection in this kind of thing, in this kind of rejected from this previous price action, in this scenario, or this previous price action, if you see a rejection overlapping those levels here, that doesn't mean you cannot really trade them. But if you have to trade them, you know they're actually a counter trade, but you have to move from one liquidity level to another. What do I mean? So take a look at what we have here on the weekly time frame, and you can see we're actually clearly bullish on the major trend is actually bullish, but we can trade some rejection here, some reversal to the downside. So what am I saying here? So now you could see that we've framed the old bias on a weekly scale, and now we've checked the overall trend and where we're actually moving towards to. But mind you, let's pay close attention to what we are trying to deal with here. So now take a look at what up here. So this is on I think this is on October 5 here, or see October 6, October 5, 2025. So we have this price action here. Right? So now what do we have exactly? Right? So we are trading impulsively to the upside, right? We are moving like this to the upside. We're having this movement to the upside, break of structures, we break structures as well to the upside, right? So but mind you, none of this rejection is actually a coincidence. They all happen for some reasons, right? So we have this level from this particular lie, this is actually our targeted high, a shaped level that can sponsor any some sort of buys and some sort of sells rather to the downside, right? So and we have all these schema levels as well, right? So now what am I saying in essence is that we have this level as a CRT level, this level as a CRT level, this low as a CRT level for more buys, right? And this level as a CRT high, right? This level rather as a CRT high. But before then, there's something I need you guys to pay attention to. What did I mean? So take a look at this. In MSNR, we are not talking about a candle range, like we are talking about candle ranges, right? But mind you, CRT cannot really be used alone without a rejection. CRT are actually very, very much valid with a rejection of candlestick, right? What do I mean? You can't just come to a chart and be looking for a random CRT like a 3D candle formation, then you have something like this. You have something of sort like this. I'm coming. Let me try to add some colors to this. Yeah, you can't really just come to chart and be looking for some sort of something like this on your weekly time frame, and maybe you've already have a sip of that. You have this week, right? Then the second candle is giving you some sort of like a candle trading downwards like this to the downside, right? And that candlestick actually saved the previous one here. So if this level that is actually shaping the previous candle level is not rejected from a valid A shape or V shape key level, they tends not to be that very much valid. What do I mean? If this is not actually rejected from a shape key level here in a selling scenario, those CRT are not really that valid. Yeah, they tends not to be very, very much valid. So you don't just look for a random CRT candles, you look for a CRT candle that's coming from a rejection. So that's what I'm trying to say. Then this is sponsor more sales to the downside like this light. So I'm coming. This is sponsor more sales to the downside to take this low out. A CRT candle has a high and a low, so to take this particular low of this candle out here, this actually is going to be our target. So something like that. That's just basically how it works. Most CRT works on rejection. I probably CRT works on rejection of candlestick, right? So now take a look at what I'm trying to say here. If you pay attention closely to a rejection, normally what we are doing in MSNR is just a daily rejecting daily. H for breakout, then you are looking for more confirmation on that, right? But take a look at what we have here, right? We have a weekly rejecting weekly. Where is the weekly rejection here? So take a look at this on the weekly scale, right? We have this level, right? We have this level here, a weekly rejecting weekly here. That's a weekly rejecting weekly. So now this is like a rejection on the weekly time frame. This is like a rejection on the weekly time frame. We have rejection, but mind you, the overall trend is still very, very much bullish. Because why? We have this SBR level here. What's SBR level? This is actually that's RSB level, a resistance broken that turns support, some sort of something like this. A resistance broken like this, a shaped level that's supposed to sponsor more sales to the downside like this, right? Got broken to the upside and turned support like this, right? That's what I mean as got broken to the upside and turned support. That's what I mean by RBS, resistance broken and turned support like that. Yeah, that's what I mean. So now take a look at what I have here. The overall trend is bullish. Yeah, the overall trend is very much bullish. You're trying to trade a reversal. That's what you're trying to trade here. So major thing you have to note here is that you cannot leverage on reversal A reversal trade or a counter trade is just like a trade you just have to take and scalp through, not something you can leverage on for a long movement in price, right? So take a look at it. So whatever you are doing, you're knowing that okay, we have a zone here that can actually continue our buys to the upside, and there is CRT for that as well. I will explain that for you as well. So but let's focus on this first time frame, right? We have this rejection on daily, on weekly time frame, right? A weekly rejecting weekly level, right? This particular scenario in price, a weekly rejecting weekly here. So now that weekly rejection, let's investigate it on a daily time frame scale. So when weekly rejects weekly, you check daily for confirmation. When daily rejects daily, you check H4 for confirmation. When H4 rejects H4, you check 1 hour, 2 hours for confirmation of that rejection. So let's check daily time frame to see the clear picture for this. So take a look at what we have here, right? Yeah, you have this level here, very sweet here. So now this A-shaped key level on a weekly time frame scale is actually an open close key level on a daily time frame scale, right? It's an open close key level on daily time frame scale level. So here, which makes more sense. But people will be like, okay, now what do I do here? What do I do? Okay, makes more sense, right? Makes more sense. You know, there's something you need to know, that whenever you have a rejection of a particular time frame, you go lower to check the confirmation of that rejection here. So but mind you, there's something from here already. There's a CRT candle here. Why are we why are we saying this as a CRT candle? Why? Here, do you know what here is? That this candle is actually a CRT candle. This last candle here is a CRT candle. Why am I calling it a CRT candle? Yeah, we are reversing this candle here, yeah, as a CRT candle, because the low of the candle has not been taken out here before the high. What do I mean? We did not take out this particular low out before taking out this high, right? Had it been we take out the low here out here first and foremost, then you know that okay, we anticipate to take out this high. If you take out this low out here, we anticipate to take out this high out, right? But mind you, this is a valid CRT candle because the low has not been taken out yet, and it's we take out the high before the low. That makes more sense. And mind you, here it's traded very close to that A-shaped key level on a weekly time frame, and the A-shaped key level is actually a liquidity level on daily time frame, right? Yeah, because you know there's a liquidity very close to that A-shaped key level, that close key level. That's actually a A-shaped key level on a weekly time frame, right? So now take a look at what I have here, which makes more sense now. So the moment you see this, you know that okay, this now makes more sense, right? This makes more sense. We have this daily weekly rejecting weekly, daily giving us the confirmation, right? So this is now like a daily rejecting daily as well. So you are going to look for H4 as confirmation. So what do I mean? So take a look at this. But mind you've already framed this as a CRT candle here, and you are looking for this low to go out at first, this low, right? But at in the worst case scenario, you are looking for at least 50% of the whole range. You know, we are target 50% of the whole range first and foremost, then before you target the overall target, right? You know, the 50% level is actually the equilibrium level here. So you know that can actually sponsor more buys to the outside. So that's why you target the 50% level first and foremost, right? So now we have a daily rejecting daily, a weekly rejecting weekly, daily giving us a confirmation with a CRT model, time frame. So you are using the CRT to be your directional bias, and you look for entries with MSNR. That's very simple and basic. So now what are we looking at? So you framed this already, so we look for more entries on H4. So let's go back to H4 and see this clearly. So if you check H4 here, you see something very similar to what we have been talking about here. So take a look at what I have on H4. So where is this? So if you take a look at this on H4, right? If you take a look at this on H4, H4 gives us a confirmation of these zones that is going to hold. What do I mean? H4 gives us an ABC pattern on H4. What's an ABC pattern? You know, we have this ABC pattern of everything like this. We have a strong series of movements to the upside like this. Then we have a strong high that give us a break of structure to the downside. There may be an inducement liquidity or an engineered liquidity here that sponsored ourselves again to the downside. So this is like an ABC pattern on H4 that this particular trade actually give us like ABC pattern. This is like a strong high because it broke multiple structures, a liquidity, then movement to the downside. You know, we are trading this like a confirmation, not just a random map here. We just come to trade and look for that. So take a look at what we have here. We have series of sells, we have series of break of structure to the downside here. We have this one here. we broke this level. We swept the previous high here of this level, and we broke multiple structures. We break this level here first, right? Then we break this level here second to the downside, right? So which makes this high a very strong high, right? It's a very strong high. So now to take a look at this, and we have a very nice liquidity level trading very close to it. So take a look at what we have here. We have this level here, right? So take a look at what we have there, a liquidity level there. So see that tapping and dump here, just tapped and very sniped entry. That's a snipe entry that you can actually have. So take a look at that. So you know, if you are targeting this, is going to be the external range low here, external range low here. See what we have here from this level to this particular level, right? So your SL is going to be SL is going to be above this week, right? So that's like a 9-hour trade. So peradventure, let's say you did not really meet you were not opportune to actually catch this first buy, this first sell rather, to the downside. You were not opportune to do that. You could still get a re-entry. What do I mean? So take a look at this. After this H4 here, H4 actually ejected H4. We had a breakout here. We had a breakout of this open close key level to the downside, right? So this breakout actually gave us another CRT candle. Where's the CRT candle? This eye. This is a CRT candle for this eye, right? The CRT candle. So here, that's a CRT candle, and you know, you can as well use a KMR level. There's something called KMR level. This is something like this. You know, we have this level that's supposed to sponsor more buys to the upside like this. Instead, they got disrespected to the downside, so they now used as more sales scenario. So it's like a KMR level, like a shoulder pattern stuff. So you have this level as the KMR level. So now you ever use a liquid, you use any zones that are very much closer to your liquidities. Do you understand? So then what do you have here? Go back to your line chart and you see. So you have these levels here above your liquidity level. Your liquidity level is actually your pullback after a break of structure, right? So here, or before a break of structure, as the case may be. So you have a liquidity level, and you put your stop loss above the nearest POY that you could actually have here. So I took this particular trade. I'll be showing you the evidence and the proof of work here. So now take a look at this from this particular zone here. From this particular zone here, this is external low. Let's do our external low. Then take a look at what we have here. ESL is going to be above that particular week here. So this is like an 8-hour trade, like a 7-hour trade. Yeah, like 8-hour trade here. Take a look at that. Here, you know, our first entry is going to be from here. This is where our first entry is going to be from. Then target that particular low, right? Then SL above here. So it's like a 9-hour trade and a 8-hour trade just in a pair, just one pair, giving you this kind of a ARR, which is actually very awesome, right, to talk about. So yeah, so now let me give you a framework of what you are expecting here. So now take a look at what we are looking at here. This is actually a framework of what you are to expect in every scenario. So now let's say you are looking at the daily scale, CRT, right? Or let's say you are looking at a CRT on a breakout block model. So what do I mean? So take a look at this. Let's say we have series of movement to the upside. We have series of movement like this to the upside, right? Right, you have series of movement to the upside like this, right? So now, after we have this movement to the upside here, you now have a CRT candle trading very close to your liquidity level. What do I mean? You have a CRT candle like this. You have a candle like this. I'm coming. You have a candle like this. I'm trying to send this back font visibility order. Send back. Okay. Font. So now you have a candle like this, right? So now take a look at this. So this makes it very much valid. If this is a CRT candle, then you anticipate more buys of taking out this particular low out. Then you make use of it as liquidity for your V-shape, for your A-shape key level here, and you target the high of this particular CRT candle high, right? The same scenario for your selling buyers, right? So something like this. Then the second CRT candle takes that high out. What do I mean? So you see something like this. Yeah, something like this. So something basically like this. So that takes that low out and tap into your level. Then the overall trend is the overall move is going to be the one that is going to take out the old trend, right? So take a look at that. So something like this. Yeah, something like this. Exactly. So we have a V-shaped key level, a CRT candle. Because why are we calling it a CRT candle? It's just because we have this low here, right? That we've not taken out the high of this candle first before taking out the low, which makes more sense. Then we are using it as a CRT candle for the buys to the downside. So make sure you note this. It's the same scenario for a selling trend and the same scenario for a buying trend, right? So here here makes more sense if it has more rejection in price. Like if this actually sponsor more rejection in price, right? These ones sponsor more rejection in price before it eventually broke into the downside, right? Or to the upside, as the case may be. Yeah. So here, just same logic, same approach here. Let me take a look at BTC, for example. Let's look at BTC together. There's something like that as well on BTC. So take a look at what happened here on BTC. So if you have to move on daily time frame, I don't want the videos to be very, very long. I just want it very, very comprehensive and just what you need to know. So take a look at what we have here on BTC, which makes more sense, right? What do you have here? There's something very, very similar that we had on BTC here. What do we have? We have series of movement to the downside on BTC, right? So here, take a look at this last day price action, right? So what do we have here? If you have to pay attention here, we have this open close key level above this candle here. We have this open close key level above this candle, which makes this candle a CRT candle. Sorry, this is a CRT candle because why? We did not take out the low of this candle before the high. Like we don't take out this low here before the high of that particular candle. Yeah, so now take a look at that here. We have this rejection on higher time frame, on daily time frame. See that CRT candle. So you can just move towards your H4 to look for more confirmation of that rejection here. So take a look at what we have here. Let me move this back. So take a look at what we have here. I know ideally you have to target the 50% level of a CRT candle, right? Ideally, that's just the logic, right? So take a look at what we have here. If you have to check your 2 hours time frame, let's investigate more to see more nice entries, right? So there's one here which makes more sense. Take a look at this. If you have watched my first video, you understand this entry model perfectly. You understand. So this is the entry model from a CRT level. You have a ABC pattern, like here, see previous high, break of structure, engineered liquidity, then you have this to the downside. So I use this to cut a sell on EU as well today. Yeah. So now take a look at this. We have a strong high on 1 hour time frame. Why? See for previous high, break of multiple structures. We broke this last structure. We broke 2 structures to the downside, right? Yeah. So take a look at that. So that makes more sense. Yeah. So we had this level. This is our strong high and our liquidity level from here, right? So take a look at what we have here. From that level here, your SL is going to be above. SL is going to be above this week's. Your target is going to be the 50% range, which is the level of the whole range first and foremost. Yeah, just to be very safe. So this is like a 7-hour trade. It's like a 7-hour trade. That's like a 7-hour trade. Just to start with, that's like 7-hour trade. So the overall trend is still very, very much valid. So what we have here, we have a 15-hour trade. So look at this is like a 16-hour trade. But mind you, yeah, take a look at this before we have that rejection reversal to the upside. So here, that's just basically what you need to have. It's just one model, one app. It may be many approaches, but same logic. Just know that the same logic. You are not here to just trade patterns. You are here to know your logic, and wherever approach you have, wherever approach you encounter in markets, you know that you are still applying the same logic here. That's just the goal of the whole stuff. So now, thanks for staying to the end of the video, guys. I'm looking forward to see you guys in the next video, and do well to subscribe, do well to turn on notification so you will receive the early notification whenever I release another video. And do well to subscribe and share the links to your friends and family, and let's do more together. So have a nice day, and have a profitable trading week. Bye.